Thanks, Honorable Chair. On just a background, contracts will be advertised and people will bid. So in this case, it was also the case that a health risk management contract for subs was advertised at some point, and there was, when a contract gets advertised, there is what we call the bid, first the specification committee, and secondly is the bid evaluation committee. And the bid evaluation committee, they will evaluate, recommend whatever they recommend to the bid adjudication committee. And the bid adjudication committee will then do their processes for adjudicating and then end up with allocating a bid and sign off a bid. So in this case, the same thing happened. They advertised.
Sorry, General. So the bid adjudication committee they will still recommend that an award be made to such and such a bidder. You would still, do you sign off the approval of that bid, or is it the minister?
No, it is signed off by the Divisional Commissioner of Supply Chain Management.
Yeah, okay.
It's delegated to that level.
So it doesn't really land on your desk?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all.
So who appoints? There's also, you advertise, and then there's a sifting process.
Yeah, the sifting process is that bid evaluation committee that gets appointed. That's the committee that does the sifting, and from there they will do, in terms of supply chain processes, whatever evaluation, whether they do through point system, whatever, yeah. And then they will recommend to the bid adjudication committee. So in this specific one, the same process was followed, and the BAC then allocated this to Medicare 24 Tshwane district. But I must say that somewhere in that process, I did get an indication of a call from one of the members of IDEC to say he's concerned about a company called Medicare 24 that is bidding for this contract, and it might have no tax clearance certificate, and it was involved in Tembisa. And I did inquire from the relevant officials, which there was an acting divisional commissioner by then. I inquired about that, and the response I got was that people get given a specific period to submit an updated tax clearance certificate, which in this case, Medicare 24 have submitted a valid tax clearance certificate, and also Medicare 24 is not blacklisted by the National Treasury on the central database. As a result, they are free to bid like anybody else. And I think, yeah, that was I gave them that feedback, and that was it.
So you had no involvement in this bid?
Not at all.
But you received a call from, did you say from IDEC?
That's correct,
You got a
Honorable
call
Chair.
from IDEC. You can't remember who from IDEC phoned you?
I think it's a Mr. Perumal.
Mr. Perumal.
Yeah, I might be either him or the other one, but I think.
Okay. And the concern was raised about one of the tenderers What in particular was the concern raised?
He said they are involved in the tender in Tembisa, which they are investigating.
At that time, did you know who the tenderer was? Either the name, well, you obviously got the name of the entity, the company, because that is how you had the matter investigated.
Yeah, well, I didn't know whose tender it is. I must say I didn't even know. I just know he said Medicare 24. So Medicare 24, I know the name in terms of clinics when you go to a clinic, whatever. But I didn't know whose company it is whatsoever. And after I got the response, that was sufficient for me, and I gave the relevant person the feedback, and he was much appreciative, and that's where we ended with the matter.
So at the time, you weren't aware that the company referred to was owned by Musumzi Kat Matlala?
No. I didn't know that, who's the owner of the company, and I also didn't know who's Vusimusi Matlala. I didn't know at all.
You let the cat out of the bag. Because he was subsequently awarded the contract.
Yeah, subsequently, yes. Later I learned that he was the person behind the Medicare 24, and he was awarded the contract. But there was an issue around Medicare 24 and Medicare 24 Tshwane district. So somewhere at the BAC, there was this confusion of Medicare 24 and Medicare 24 Tshwane district. Looks like the other one is a holding company of the other one, something to that effect.
To your knowledge, do you know whether the minister, and who at the time was the minister? Was it Minister Cele or Minister Mchunu?
At that time, it was awarded around June. Yeah, it's just looks like, I'm not sure whether it was Minister Cele, but yeah, it must have, because it was awarded in
it was
June.
Minister Cele,
Yeah, it was
because Minister Mchunu was
in
appointed
July.
in July.
Yes, yeah, correct.
But are you aware, or to your knowledge, did Minister Mchunu make any inquiries about this contract?
Yes, correct. Somewhere in December, he did say we must meet and discuss about the health risk manager contract, which indeed we had a meeting with him on the 24th of December. I think it was a virtual meeting, and we discussed the issue around the contract, the service delivery around the contract, and we picked up that yes, even the performance of the contract was a problem, and so we then agreed that I tasked the internal audit and risk management to go and audit this contract, look at the whole processes, whether this was awarded correctly, yes, no, and all those. And then there was a subsequent follow-up meeting, I think somewhere in February, and then there was a preliminary report by the audit committee that was released. Let's just check when was that.
Just while you're looking there, General, who signed off the contract that finally concluded the award?
The service, well, the contract is signed by the Divisional Commissioner Supply Chain, as far as I remember, and the service level agreement was signed by the Deputy National Commissioner for Support Services, Lieutenant General Nkua.
What did you make of Minister Mchunu requesting you in December 2024 for a review of the contract? And what reasons would you, or did you give, or did he give for the review of this contract?
Yeah, there was a media article, I think, about a Mr. Ket Matlala, and which also indicated that he got a contract in subs, and he also mentioned the concern about the matters of whether was this contract allocated or in order, and is the contract performing. So the report was that yes, there are problems with this specific contract, and they did write letters to the relevant managers of the contract of this company, alerting them that they are defaulting in certain areas.
Would or does the minister have anything to do with the award of a contract at any stage during the procurement process? Or does it depend on the amount?
Through Chairperson, can you pardon me? Repeat.
I said, would a minister be involved at any stage in the award of a contract, or does it depend on the amount of the contract?
No, he doesn't get involved, but I think this stage, December, the contract was already awarded.
So the minister wouldn't be involved at all?
Yeah, no, the minister don't get involved, but however, as I was saying, by that time, in December, the contract was already awarded.
And it had already been implemented?
Yes, the contract is already running, is being implemented, yes.
Was running. And there were some, so I suppose under the guise of some kind of oversight function, the minister could ask you to review a contract, maybe because of information he received or what he heard.
Yeah, it's possible, yes. We took it that obviously he must have received information somewhere around the contract. And hence then I tasked the internal audit and the risk to go and audit this specific contract.
Now, there was an internal review, and you received an internal audit report. You summarized the outcome on page 40, paragraphs 91.1 to 91.4, which indicates or highlights a number of red flags. 91.1 to 91.4.
Correct, correct, Honorable Chair. 91.44, 91.1, the bid evaluation committee, that is the BEC, lacked the appropriate skill and competence to evaluate the bid. There was no evidence of individual scoring in the bidding file. The due diligence did not assess the bidder's unethical or ethical behavior in other procurement processes. There was evidence of misrepresentation of facts and bid fronting in the bid documents, and the utilization of facilitators in the bid evaluation process exposed subs to corruption risk, which was damaging to subs' reputation. That was the preliminary report in January.
And then you said paragraph 92, in addition, the red flags were also raised by the preliminary internal audit concerning Medicare 24 Swani's poor performance.
That's correct, Honorable Chair.
You then subsequently wrote on the 24th of March asking for reasons why you should not terminate the contract.
Yeah, that is correct, Honorable Chair. Yes, I wrote to them to give reasons why we shouldn't terminate.
But by then, you had paid, that's obviously SEPS, in January 2005, SEPS paid Medicare 24 Swani 50 million rand for the health services contract.
That is correct, Honorable Chairperson. Well, there was the service that they provided, and they were paid for that service.
So what were they paid for? Poor service?
Well, there were written letters of warnings for the poor service, and they had to deliver, which eventually they did deliver the service. You'd recall that we had to, early this year, we had to have 5,500 kids in the college. So there were problems around that, but eventually they delivered that service. They were able to process those students. We sent them to the college, and hence they were paid for that. And eventually, after that letter of intention, based on the preliminary report, and then in April, there was a final report which subsequently, based on the final report, I subjected it to legal processes, of course. Some were saying we go to court, some were saying we cancel, but after after the legal processes were finalized, eventually I did cancel the bid.
Or was the tender subsequently re-advertised and re-evaluated and re-awarded?
No, it's not yet re-awarded. They are in the process of getting to re-advertise. But what is happening now, since that time, there is a forensic audit that is being done, so that when that forensic audit is finalized, it's supposed to be finalized now during October, November. And once that specific audit, forensic audit is finalized, then we are going to then re-advertise and also take action against employees, against whoever that have been guilty of a misconduct. Because the practice we have seen is you can't take action on especially on the members based on the audit report. We have experiences in the past where you do that later. When you finalize your forensic audit, you find either more involvement of other people which you left out, and maybe you dealt with those that were not really much involved. So the advice by both the legal team and the CFO is that we finalize the forensic audit, which is going to happen now. And from there, we take action against those members that are involved. But at the same time, I did undertake a process of reviewing the whole process, that there should be, I'm reviewing the delegation of powers, that certain amounts should be signed off by various levels, and the divisional commissioners sign up to a certain amount, and I also sign some amounts, I think it's 300 million and up. But also what I introduced in the process is that there should be a probity audit, because initially they will go on with all those processes of specification, evaluation, adjudication, and award. And when the audit comes, they come after the fact. So now what I introduce is that after the BAC have finalized their process, but before they can allocate, they must wait. There must be a probity audit of the whole process. Only once that have happened, only then can they award. There are various schools of differing legal opinions in that, but I said that is the same way we go that route, and yeah, if there are those that challenge the process, we'll take it from there with the legal people.
Okay.
Nothing. Sure, I would do honestly.